Hello and welcome back. This week we are going to be talking about food. So, hood training. This is a special request video from my friend Charlie. And I don't mean how to train kids how to act down the hood, as my sister mentioned. Talk about these things, most often called motorbike helmets. So what does a hood do? Well, essentially it's just a few pieces of leather sewn together in a shape to cover a bird's head. Now don't let hood makers hear me say that, because the craft that goes behind making these is incredible. And we're very lucky here in the UK, we have some of the best hood makers in the world. I think I've dug my way out of that hole. As if it is poorly made, it could make the bird hood shine. Too tight and it could choke the bird or push into the eyes of the bird. Too large and it might let light in through the beak opening, or it may even be able to see through it, which would make the hood completely useless. As underliningly, that is what they're made for. Very similar to putting like a towel over a budgie's cage or blinkers on a horse. What they can't see can't hurt them. Birds of prey are extremely visually stimulated, so by putting a hood onto them, they're not in tune or worried about their surroundings, which can help for a whole host of different situations, from calmly travelling them on their couch. You could be fitting equipment, the bird won't even know what's going on. You could be taking it to an unfamiliar surrounding, such as the vet, which might usually stress out the bird, or even taking the bird out in the field and you want to keep it calm and still. You could just have it in the hood until you get into place. Slip the hood off and then the bird will focus straight onto its prey before releasing it. So yeah, they're a great tool which will keep them sat peacefully and, most importantly, unstressed. Though it can have its drawbacks if overused. I have met some falconers and it seemed that their birds lived in the hoods, apart from flying and feeding, and I'm told you can even feed your birds with these on. However, I think that's rather sad, as I mentioned, birds of prey are so visually stimulated. I wouldn't want to take that joy away from them by not being able to see the world around them. And I personally only use the hood just to keep up the training, really. So I'll pop it on just before feeding, take it off, the bird will see feed, and it always sees the hood as a nice good thing. And I find that creates a well-rounded bird, because it's seen the world around it so much that if a hot air balloon flies over or ladies come riding horses waving flags, they're not going to be worried. Where if a falconer is always so rushed to put the bird in the hood, every time something comes along that might bother it, it will never desensitize and get used to those situations. How do you hood a bird? Well, I guess I best go get a bird. I'll be back in a second. So, I find it quite important to try get the bird and the hood in the right place before starting. And you'll find with you and your bird, once it gets comfortable with being hidden, you'll have like a particular routine for you and that bird. So for Hyde, I like to just pop it on his chest and he'll look forward and I'll just slip it over his head. Whereas with my gerfalcon, Shadow, I simply just offer the hood up to her and she'll just snuggle her head in. So I'll be holding the hood by the plume and I'll have it tilted backwards. See, my wrist is bent backwards so the opening is ready to be tilted over the bird's head and beak. And then when the bird faces me, without hesitation, I will simply slip this over the bird's head and beak very gently. I don't want to push it onto the bird. And then I'll hold it in place with my thumb. Again, I'm just resting my thumb in there, as birds aren't always still creatures. And I want to be happy that it's sat in the right position, so I'm going to tilt it back a little bit so the nares are fully visible and the gape is visible. And then once I'm happy with its positioning, I'll then turn the bird so its right shoulder is facing me, and that allows me to get hold of the braces with ease. Now I want these braces, I don't want the ones with the buttons. You see this has got like a little button on the end of it? So I will take one brace and place it into my mouth, and then I will hold on to the other one, and then I will pull them together to draw the hood closed. There you go. And there he is in his lovely little hood. So you've got the hood on, how do you take it off again? Well, you simply do everything in reverse. So you're going to bring that right shoulder of the bird to face you again. That'll allow you good, easy access to the braces. You're going to want to take hold of the ones with the buttons this time, as that'll allow you to draw the braces open. So you're going to take this one with your teeth, this one with your bare hand, and then once you've got them both, you're going to gently pull them, and that will allow the brace to slip off. Now, at this point here, I don't like to take the hood off straight away, as if you take it off straight away, as soon as the braces are drawn, the bird will start preempting the removal of the hood. So instead, if you just leave it on for a few moments, I'm told you've got to leave it on for 5 seconds at least. However, I don't think it really matters about the length of time. It's just so the bird doesn't start trying to shake it off itself. It stays conditioned to you removing the hood rather than the bird taking it off, as we all like a bird with good manners. So you now know how to take a hood on and off a bird. So how do you train a bird how to accept it? Well, it's not one of the easiest things, that's for sure. I've come to prefer a slowly approach. I am told the sooner you train a bird to be hood trained, it's easier. However, in my experience, or should I say lack of, that's not worked for me. The 2 times I've done this before, it's stressed out the bird, and I'm always really hesitant to stress out the bird in its early stages of training. So I've chosen to come back to it, and that just happened to be very recently, which is quite great because Charlie asked me for this video, and I'm hood training 2 birds currently, so I can show you a whole different array of birds in different stages of their hood training. So let's go get one of the birds. So first of all, it's about getting the hood on the bird's head. Now this isn't the easiest thing to do, as they will bob, weave, move out the way, or maybe even bait to try avoid getting the hood on them. And if you're doing this and it's getting stressful, or the bird is hood shy, the best thing to do is in the dark. And the second you get it on, take it off again, give them some food and repeat. Now why it's better to do it in the dark in these initial first stages is it's not such a drastic change for them from light to dark. Also, they're not worried about their surroundings and they can't see the hood as well, so it's all much easier for them to accept. Now, it might take a few days of doing this in the dark before you're ready to do this in maybe a dimly lit room and then onto daylight. But just take each stage ever so slowly, and then once you get to a point where the bird will accept the hood on for a few seconds, just lengthen the time a little bit. And the more you do this, the easier it will come for the bird. You gonna look at me? No? You're not gonna let me hood you at all today, apparently. Put a camera there and he says, absolutely not. Why would I do that? I do say don't work with animals and children, because this is one of the reasons why. There we go. So I've got it on for a second. Just going to leave it there for a second or 2, and we should be past the stage. Do this for a few days now. Taking it off, giving him a little reward, and then we'll repeat the exercise again. So once the bird starts to learn that the food going on and on, it sits too, it'll start becoming more comfortable with this stage. And then you can start leaving it on a little bit longer before it gets to be a reward. And then once I'm comfortable, but the bird is comfortable, I'll then hold it at the back to tighten it up rather than using the braces. Take it off, give it a reward, and you can see how this is going and progressing. I will then tighten it with the braces just a little bit for the first time, and then progress to fully tightening the braces. and then taking it off and again giving him his food reward. And then as time goes on, the bird will get more conditioned to being in the hood. The hood will just become part of its daily life. And then the reward doesn't have to always be food coming off straight away. It could be the bird is being released out into the field. Now the time it takes to hood train a bird differs with the bird, the handler. They've all got individual different personalities and how much time you're willing to invest into it. It's really good to maybe do 2 sessions at least each day to get the bird nice and comfortable with the hood right from the very off. So I hope that covers everything of how to train a bird to a hood. So once you've got your bird hooded, you want to check that it fits correctly, and if not, you can fit the hood to the bird. Of course, you've got to make sure it's the right size, and any falconer that's been doing this for any period of time will have a collection of hoods. I know I sure do. So you can find out what's the best size for your bird just by trialing lots and lots of different hoods, or contact a hood maker and they'll ask you to measure parts of the bird's face so they can make the right size hood. However, your bird is an individual, so you may need to make some adjustments to your hood when you first get it. So what you'll do is see how it fits the bird around its gape, and of course you want to be able to see all of the gape of the bird, and on this hood here I actually need to bring it up just a millimetre or so it will fit around the gape much better, so it doesn't start rubbing on the skin. And it's particularly important if you're going to have the hood on for any period of time. So I'm going to take the hood off, we're going to make those adjustments. So it was just this area here around the hood that was slightly going over her gape. That's just the skin, the flesh bit at the end of the beak. So I'm going to use this very trusty, very sharp knife just to take away the edge there. So a lot of falconers don't like doing this, as you could ruin hundreds of pounds worth of hood in a few seconds. So it's good to hone your talents, practice maybe on an old hood, before you go on to one that's worth hundreds of pounds. And you can always take away more, you can't put back So just be careful, go easy on it. Now I've cut away what I think I want to, however it's left quite a rough edge. So I'm going to use my trusty Dremel. Use a trusty Dremel, and I'm going to lower the settings just a little bit. As again, as mentioned, you can always take away more, you can't cut back. And then I'm going to run that around the edges of the hood here. And that will sand it down to allow it to sit nice and smoothly on the bird's face. Keep it nice and comfortable for the bird. You can do this for the entirety of the beak piece, again just so it sits more softly on the bed. I'm going to go check to see how well it fits, if I need to make any more adjustments. So we're going to have a look. Oh, much better. Can I see the other side, please? So you can see she does. You can see much more of the gape. I might take it just back a little bit more on the edge here, but other than that, it fits really well. So another way to get the bird's hood to fit a little better is to flare out these nose pieces, because when you get them they'll be quite flat. It does for some birds that might fit perfectly, but others it may need just bringing out a little bit. So what you do, stick them in some water, don't worry it's not tea. And this will allow it to become a little bit more supple. And then just with your thumb, just bend out the edges a little bit. And this, if it wasn't sat comfortably before, will stop it digging into the bird's face. Then we'll leave that to dry and pop it back on the birds tomorrow. So now you've made all those improvements, you've flared the beak area out, you've adjusted it a little bit, blow out the inside, make sure there's no dust. Last thing I want to do is put dust into the bird's eyes when you pop it on. That's a good thing to do before putting your bird in, especially if it's been in your pocket or hung up for a really long time. Just give it a good blow out, good de-dust. You might need to oil them occasionally to keep them nice and supple, but again, if you are oiling it, don't put it on your bird that day. And then pop it onto your bird. Check the adjustment. Perfect, lovely. You can see the full of her gape now. If she stood still for 2 seconds. But that's the end of today's episode, everything I know on hooding and hood training. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, put some comments down, let us know what you think, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!